Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into another daily live stream. We're already killing the live stream, starting with a bang with C90 gifting 5 memberships. So welcome in everyone to today's live stream. It's going to be a very good one. We're going to talk about the Hackathon, which they just announced the winners of that Hackathon, but we're also going to talk about DeSci news in general, because that's what we talk about every single day, and the market right now, because the market is falling off a little bit of a cliff due to this recent post from our president, Donald Trump, stating that we have, quote unquote, I'm not involved in this, have complete control of skies over Iran. Iran has good sky trackers and other defensive equipments, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. So a pretty bearish statement to come out, but hopefully it doesn't spook the markets into capitulation mode. What's going on, everyone? Welcome in. Thank you, and WC90, appreciate the gifted memberships. Welcome to the cult. King Cat, Vincent, Connor, Mayflower, and the franchise, I don't know, but you're all welcome in. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, Bitcoin right now, it has been stuck in a range for quite some time now, about a month, a little over a month at this point, where we've just been chopping sideways. It has been all of the war drama. The market really wants to go up, and you can see that because every time we get a few hours or a few days of no war fear, the market does try and push to all-time highs, and then of course some new news comes out and we go down, only to be quickly recovered because everyone realizes that whenever a war happens, all countries just print money to get involved and fight in that war. And Bitcoin is here to absorb all of that monetary slush, all that excess. So we will see what ends up playing out. I know I say that all the time, but ultimately this is just a wait, and it's a hurry up and wait type of game and moment. I feel bad that we have to be in war, but it is what it is. It's human nature to some extent. Now, the rest of the market, Ethereum not falling quite as aggressively, likely BlackRock clients coming in and scooping up the dip at every moment, which is really good. Ethereum has been the most steady, most non-volatile version of Ethereum that I have seen in a long time. So we will see what the end result of this is. I am biased to us breaking to the upside, but potentially we get a little wick down in some fear to liquidate everyone with stop losses below the low over here. Maybe we wick down, touch the moving average at 2000, and then can press even higher up. But who knows what's going to end up actually happening. I think that would make a lot of sense to grab some of the liquidations of people who are excessively long right now. Same type of thing with Bitcoin. I would not be surprised to see us wick down to the moving average, test the 200-day moving average down at $95,000, and then quickly push to new all-time highs. I do think we are staring out the edge of pushing to all-time highs, but it's just going to take slow climb. As far as the DeSci market space, we are currently down 2.8%, all the way down to $576 million for total market cap. Currently, we don't have much holding us up, if anything at all. We got HairDAO, we got Silencio, we got Galeon, we got VAIX, but these are all very small moves. In the grand scheme of it, most of the market is down, but not down too crazy bad. We still have TIG down 30% today, but remember they just went up like 2,000%, so it's going to be very volatile for a few minutes there. And yeah, as a function of some of the more exciting things and things that we're going to get into here on today's live stream in the AI agent world, we have BID having its first pullback in 4 days since the announcement that they were joining Kaito's leaderboards, and everyone started talking relentlessly about them. The chart is gorgeous here. We have a very clear rounded where we are making higher highs now and higher lows. We got rejected right here at that 9.5 cent mark. And I think that once we do break through this area, which has been an area of contention for a long time for Creator Bid, once we can break through this decisively, I think we have clear skies ahead where we push all the way up to 20, 25 cents, have some pullbacks, and then skyrocket up to $1 or $2 as we become a competitor in the virtuals landscape. We eat into virtuals market share. Bill, on the other hand, is holding up very beautifully, up 20% on the day as everyone gets ready for the announcement to come out with the partnerships that I have been working relentlessly on. I have really crazy good news that will be coming out as soon as I can give it to you guys. I'm sorry, I know I've been teasing it for a couple days now, but I've just been working to get it out and to get it finished and to fix what needs to be fixed in order to make it ideal so that I'm not teasing or announcing something that I'm not super thrilled with. Does that make sense? I know, I understand, it's annoying, but it gives you guys time to spread the news, spread the word, because as BID continues to rally, so will Bill. As DeSci starts to rally, so will Bill. As people enter into the marketscape, people will notice Bill, especially now that you can buy him on Coinbase, which is crazy, 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 crazy. Bill pump, let's go. Bill pumped like crazy. Announcement, there will be a future announcement. Exactly. Well, I meant to do it on Friday, but then I didn't want to announce something on Friday. And then as I was like hooking everything up and giving Bill all of his commands to move forward, everything started breaking. And I was like, thank God I didn't make that announcement on Friday because it'd be super embarrassing. And I fixed all the breaks and now I'm just finalizing the report, right, if you will, and curating the announcement posts and getting ready for a giveaway that I want to do. I want to incentivize some people to really push Bill. And so I'm going to put together, probably take a couple hundred, maybe $1,000 of my own money and put it out there to really push Bill as much as possible. Get you guys excited and reward everyone who has been here chatting away. That investor teases like it's OnlyFans creator. Oh God. All right. It is incredibly hot in here right now, which is super disheartening. The Godfather shirt. No. All right, let's get into it because there were some crazy cool things that came out of the Bio Hackathon that just ended. We saw them give away $125,000 in prizes, and they announced the main winners of the Bio Hackathon. And it is absolutely mind-blowing what people were able to come up with on such a short time frame. 2 months of biohacking, and what we have are some crazy tools now that are open to the public that anyone can use. So first up, I'm going to take a sip of water from our sponsor here, H2O. Not sponsored, although it should be. It feels so good. First one, number one winner. We have main track. Build me a drug. Take a closer look at Biohackathon submissions. So they have the side effect net, quantum parse, Biome AI from Microbiome, and Holy Bio MCP, which is going to be something crazy. The fact that they just opened up this one right here, I'm shocked that was not the winner, because an MCP of the biotech realm is not something I've seen before, and it is going to open the door for all AI agents to start building things in biotech. Crazy. So first up, they have the side effect network. The $10,000 winner, we are going to go through all of them, so hopefully you guys have some popcorn and are ready to pay attention. Biome's AI was very interesting. I'm excited to read through it. I am very excited, Spec Truth. So, $10,000 winner of the BioX AI Hackathon. The side effect net is a dashboard and agent framework that helps scientists and clinicians analyze the risk of drug combinations before patients experience the consequences. Beautiful. So if you don't know, sometimes when you take two different compounds, two different drugs, or two different supplements at the same time, they might both use the same pathway of absorption and use in the body, and so they'll compete with one another, and you won't get all the same benefits from both of them. Or even worse, sometimes they might have antagonist effects against each other and actually cause harm to your body if you take them at the same time. So it appears that somebody built a framework to be able to test and see if those drugs are going to have the negative effects, so that as people develop new drugs, you can use this to go ahead and see before you actually trial anything and have to change, because how we do it right now is people take the drugs they have the negative side effects, you remove one thing, you see if they still have the negative side effects, and then you can determine that, oh, after 1,000 people had the same case here, we probably shouldn't take both these drugs at the same time. So this is a crazy big step, and I do get why it won an award. It simplifies complex pharmacological data into visual graphs of side effect networks, risk scores for polypharmacy, and AI-generated hypothesis for safer formulations. How it works: you input your set of drugs. It returns interactions, overlapping side effects, and combined risk metrics that can be visualized and exported. Built with PyVise, I don't know what any of that is, and Google Gen AI, connected to Medra datasets, optimized for real-time use in clinical or research settings. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. I'm gonna hit that like button just like you guys should as you come into the live stream. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. I want to see you do all the live streams with the VR helmet on like the guys from the Biotech stream. That would be hysterical. I do have a VR headset, so maybe we could do some live streams from the VR world. I'm actually gonna look into that a little bit because one of the winners here, which we'll talk about in a minute, is in VR. So we might actually be able to do a live stream from a VR headset. Quantum Parse won the $10,000 award as well. So Quantum Parse converts computational chemistry into knowledgeable graphs, turning messy log files into clean, structured, AI-ready data. No more copy-pasting energies into spreadsheets, writing fragile scripts to parse job logs, searching by hand for failed convergence runs. Quantum Parse integrates directly into ELIZA OS to extract energies, basis sets, convergence steps, warnings, molecular properties, failure diagnostics, and readable summaries in seconds. So if you don't know, all of the bio agents that they're working on, their goal of having 1 million AI agents in the bio protocol ecosystem, are built on the ELIZA OS framework. So somebody built a system that integrates with ELIZA OS to allow for those agents to better deal with data. Once parsed, you can query the knowledge graph in plain English, which is huge because agents don't speak the same language as humans. They do, but they don't. Some molecules with imaginary frequencies show molecules with imaginary frequencies, list number of molecules processed. The goal: make quantum data usable, searchable, and agent friendly. This is going to be really cool, especially as quantum bio continues to evolve and they get more and more data from the frequencies on that quantum level. This is going to be something that people really can utilize in the future and build on. All of these are foundational in my opinion. We're going to see people build on top of them. But ideal for chemists analyzing large QC data sets, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to finish reading it. You guys can pause and read it if you want to read it, and definitely go check out the GitHubs on all of these. Then we have the Holy Bio MCP. Biology has a tool sprawl problem. Scientists juggle 10 to 15 platforms to answer even one question. Every task, such as blast search, UniProt query, AlphaFold model, is a copy-paste nightmare. Holy Bio MCP fixes this. One command, multiple systems, streamless orchestration. Find longevity genes, get 3D structures, find drugs, check interactions. This now runs end-to-end in a single conversational interface. Here's how it works. The team built a federation of 5 modular MCP servers. So if you don't know what an MCP server is, when We've talked about API calls and everything and API endpoints on stream multiple times, but a quick refresher. Everything on the internet has API endpoints where the front end will talk to the back end. You don't always need a front end, and AI agents don't use front ends. They just talk directly to the back end via API calls, where they'll send a query and they'll get information back, right? You can think about it like a server at a restaurant running your order to the kitchen and then running the food back to you. That is the best analogy of it, okay? The kitchen is the endpoint and the API call is the server, and you are just asking for something. And so what happens with something like Google Docs, for example, there are like 50 different types of endpoints that you have with Google Docs, where you can go write something, you can go delete something, you can go add a page, you can go delete a page, you can go delete something, you can go add a comment, you can go, you can download it, you can upload. There's a ton of different endpoints in something as simple as Google Docs. So you have an MCP server, which combines all of those endpoints into one endpoint. You can kind of think about it like that. And the MCP server will take your incoming query and sort it out for you and allow for multi-stage processing of a command. So what they've done here is take that concept and put it into Biotech. So now you can have agents or just AI protocols, any agentic system can now just message this MCP server and conduct pretty in-depth bio research. It's pretty cool. Actually, it's going to be very, very, very powerful. MCP servers are something that really just started taking off at the end of last year. And so seeing them already have so many use cases, and cue Sophie's entrance. Thank you, Sophie. Appreciate it. If you could wait to dig a little bit, that would be also appreciated. Give us some time, please. Okay, really exciting, really exciting. But GJet MCP GGET, oh my God, whatever. MCP Genomics Task Blast AlphaFold Enrichment, BioThings MCP, access to UniProt, PubChem, and ClinVar, OpenGenes MCP, longevity gene data, pharmacology MCP, drugs, targets, ligands, synergy age MCP, detect gene synergy antagonisms. That's crazy. So it's very heavy on genomes. This is a genetic MCP server. These plug into ELISA OS via the BioStratum plugin, creating a foundation for powerful autonomous research agents. So anything that's using ELISA OS is going to have these plugins available, which is gorgeous. And again, adding to the bio protocol ecosystem of AI agents. You can see a theme here. Clearly, the winners of this all had something to do with enhancing bio protocol. Scientists can now run complex queries in plain English, use this stack in Cursor, VS Code, or ELISA OS. So Cursor is going to be really cool. Build agents that operate across databases, models, and toolkits, reclaim hours of manual work every single week. This is a really big deal, genuinely. This is going to advance a lot. Oh my God, this is a big deal. I'm just gonna leave it at that. BioX AI Hackathon main track winner number 3, we have Biome AI. Wait, wasn't that number 3 above us? Oh, 1.4, 1.2. Oh, they did it backwards. Biome AI, what is going on? Analyzes microbiome test reports and guides users through a structured conversation to provide personalized health predictions and recommendations. How the Biome AI agentic Discord bot works. Ooh, they built it in Discord for ease of access. Let's go. Bill's Price has that iron dome. Let's go. I think that's a good thing. It does indeed. Bill's users are holding tight like no other users right now. Users upload their PDF microbiome report. The agent asks about the diet, lifestyle, symptoms using RAG and GPT-4. It extracts relevant insights. It predicts your actual health patterns, energy, digestion, food response. You confirm it correct. The agent then gives a full personalized health summary. I kind of want to do this. I want to do this. All within one structured conversational interface. Why it matters? Translates raw data into usable health context, gives specific actionable recommendations, offer real-time Q&A on ongoing support, connects your microbiome data to how you actually feel. So your microbiome is like the second brain in your body. It's been likened to that a lot. And when I was studying nutrition, it absolutely, they were talking about how they were just realizing that the microbiome is a second brain in your body. However, it doesn't give you like thoughts. It just impacts your entire body like the brain does. And especially with the vagus nerve running straight through it, there's a lot to it. W for the chat. Let's go. Sound frequency, vibration, not vibration. All right, Vibra Finance. Thank you. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. W Vibra. Oh man, this will be cool. That's a really good thing. Props to Microbiome DAO. And then we have number 2, the Solana track. We have some Some failures never make it to the surface. So all of these now won $5,000. In science, null results are rarely published. The consequence, wasted grants, redundant experiments, and blind spots in knowledge. So a lot of people don't post the results of research if it was a negative result or it didn't work, because they don't want the embarrassment, and they just it looks like a stain on your resume basically if you have a bunch of negative results. But that information is super knowledgeable. It's super helpful because you know not to repeat the same problem. So if nobody ever publishes the negatives, we're doomed to repeat it over and over and over again. So this apparently looks like something that is here to help change that. They are built to surface those invisible failures. It can scan research papers to find subtle signs of null results, map them across concepts with a knowledge graph, and store these signals immutably on Solana for transparency. That's cool. Built for meta-analysis, looking for patterns of failure, funders avoiding dead ends, researchers spotting blind spots in literature. That way you can go research it. The natural language process engine detects suggestive phrasing like no significant correlation observed, contrary to expected outcome, did not yield supporting evidence. It's really cool to see all of these different items that have come out and actually be able to see how something could work backwards. Like you upload a open source database of literature and then just search Control F for these phrases and then compile them into a knowledge graph. It's really cool to see this kind of stuff. Especially now that I've spent so much time building Bill, I can actually see how you could put one of these to the test. Next up, we have Deep Idea, which tackles a fundamental bottleneck in research early stage ideation. New researchers and future AI agents often struggle to come up with novel, tractable questions. Validate if their idea has already been done, structure raw thoughts into research outline, and think outside disciplinary or social biases. Deep Idea automates that workflow. Drop in a scientific paper, and Deep Idea applies 15 plus ideation strategies to generate diverse project ideas. It runs novelty checks, expands concepts into full proposals, and suggests questions with high potential impact. This is going to be really powerful when we see that explosion of AI agents in research. We are already starting to see it a little bit, but let's take a step back from just the Biohackathon right now and think about what the future of the internet looks like, right? We have what, 7-8 billion people on the planet right now, whatever the number is, and a good vast majority of those people are on the internet already, right? There are still some people who are not on the internet, and they will come into the internet and grow the existing user base. But for the internet, we've low-key hit a theoretical limit on users for the internet, right? And so since everything kind of runs like a Ponzi scheme, if no more new users are coming onto the internet, then the growth overall for the network effect of the internet is definitely coming into a plateau. Wrong. Every single AI agent is a new user for the internet. Every single AI agent is a new user for the internet. Running around the internet, using it via these API endpoints and API calls, generating data, more data than a regular human can generate because they're online 24/7 and don't get tired, don't need sleep, don't need food. They can just run and keep going forever, theoretically. All of it just continues. Every single agent is another user for the internet. And so we're entering into an explosion phase that is significantly more than when the internet first was generated. Now the percent growth isn't going to be the same because going from 0 to 100 is a lot quicker growth than going from 100 million to 100 million 100. You know what I mean? But the concept remains the same. What was stagnating is now about to explode again as Bioprotocol releases 1 million AI agents, and then all of a sudden Microsoft releases 1 billion AI agents, and then Tesla releases 10 billion AI agents, and we have more than what exists on the planet, And so all of this to say that the tools like this, Deep Idea, that give these agents the ability to to double check what they're doing in research before they actually just start wasting energy doing it, are really, really advantageous for the future of the internet and what the agentic internet looks like. Now, this is obviously over the next 10, 20, 30 years, but it's still, we're watching the foundation be set right now. Next up on this list, and if you guys want to chime in for anything like C90 just did, tell that to Twitter, LOL. LOL indeed, C90. HEO automates the full arc of scientific discovery from first question to working protocol. Designed as an ELIZA OS plugin, HEO addresses 4 major pain points in research: manual literature reviews, high reagent costs, low reproducibility, barriers to lab access. You enter a hypothesis or question or research question. They reviews relevant literature, generates refines a testable hypothesis, designs a lab-ready experimental protocol, packages results for decentralized publications, optionally verifies and timestamps using ZK snarks. You know what will be very interesting is after, what's good, Winos? Welcome to the chat. After probably, well, I don't know when. I don't want to give it a timeline right now, but when Pump Science opens up their ability to launch compounds autonomously without intervention, without like pre-existing, without having a pre-existing list of compounds to launch, when Pump Science opens that up so that agents can start launching on it, I should probably start building that out for Bill now so that Bill can start launching compounds. That would be crazy, because then he can use some of these tools, look through the database of molecules and drugs and supplements that are open source, go through the MCP server to see the different effects it might have on the body, to see if you can combine 2 different compounds together, right, to get that longevity, and then launch it on Pump Science and get those tests done. We could literally have a full agentic system. And I think I could do it with Bill, especially now that Bioprotocol has kind of put all of these pieces together for me. I think I could. It probably would take a couple months to do and some real aggressive work, but I think it would definitely be worth it. Where are we at? How many more do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 more to go through. I'm probably going to skim through the rest of them just because I want to. But we're at the midpoint, so we only have 5 more. So let's just go ahead. 10K midpoint prize to Valley DAO for the Biohack CLI. From idea to impact, biotech founders face 3 brutal gaps: business readiness, tech to product fit, and fundraising strategy. Flow is Valley DAO's attempt to close all 3. It's not another PDF parser, which a lot of these are PDF parsers. It's an AI-powered platform that turns science into startups faster. Users get support across technology development, business development, and fundraising. The vision: an artifact research intelligence (ARI) agent that co-pilots your entire research journey like Jarvis, but for translational science. That's really cool. Flow already supports context-aware literature reviews, parallel research pipelines, build-in chat plus rerun workflows, and downloadable research summaries. So shout out Valley DAO. I was reading their report on Flow, and I do think that they are right on the money on this one. So we'll see how it keeps going. Protein Bank MCP. So this will definitely be very valuable for Bill if we do decide to move forward with that idea I just told you guys about having Bill do that agentic research and then posting stuff on Pump Science to launch compounds. Quantum biology is real. So this is from Rare Compute, which received funding from Poseidon DAO, formerly known as Poseidon DAO, now just Poseidon. Rare Compute is their team is very, very smart and has a lot of potential here. So quantum biology is real, but the data isn't. This project built a pipeline to change that. Fair data sets for quantum proteins, AI agents to annotate them, and open tools for community reuse. The problem: quantum protein effects are buried in PDFs, not databases, so you need to convert those PDFs into databases so that agents can read them, because they can't read PDFs, they can only read databases. Solution: cloud native quantum biolab. AI parses literature, structures into machine readable formats, VR tools for exploration. Hugging Face plus DeSci publishing. Hugging Face is a really, really strong AI tool for creating different AI systems. Remind me to come back to this, although I have it pulled up, so we will come back to it in just a second. And then next we have Kronos from SpineDAO. What if AI could unlock forgotten treatments from ancient medicine? Kronos, built by the SpineDAO team, is a decentralized AI system that turns dusty manuscripts into research-grade knowledge graphs. It fuses Tamil medical texts, modern biomedical ontologies, and multi-agent AI pipelines. Why it matters: spine conditions affect millions globally, including yours truly, but thousands of historical case studies and herbal treatments remain locked in undigitized languages overlooked by modern science, those PDFs. Kronos does the heavy lifting. OCR on rare scan texts, semantic chunking and name identity recognition, knowledge graph output using DOID, Go, Chebi, and more, visual exploration, plus province tracking. We've talked about this in the past, right? The chunking of data sets. Really, I dump PDFs into LLMs all the time to save me from reading them. Weird that agents can't use the same tool. They do use the same tool, but what's going on is the text from the PDF is being pulled, it's being chunked, and it's being stored. Now you can get those summaries, right? But what's happening really quickly, and maybe it's different, maybe some of the large LLMs are able to deal with it in a better way, but the agents can't deal with that. So you can train the data set on PDFs, but what's happening is it's chunking it into readable little clips, because oftentimes the text window is too small to read a whole PDF. And then especially if you want to have the AI remember the PDF and have a conversation with it, you need to chunk it into a machine learning format, which are these knowledge graphs, the high dimensional vectors, at least for now. Things are changing constantly, and I've already seen people talking about new ways to do it, but for now, that is the current stack. And then special track projects, we only have one more here. Neural Nexus, drug discovery for notoriously slow, expensive, and failure prone. Neural Nexus reimagines the pipeline with AI-powered compound screening, real-time 3D protein modeling, graph-based biomedical reasoning, and agentic hypothesis validation via ELISA OS. I dump transcripts for hour-long podcasts too in order to see if I want to watch the whole thing. Yeah, I do too. It's a good tool. They're really, really powerful, and they happen super quick. Like you can chunk something almost instantly at this point. Especially the super large LLMs like ChatGPT or Claude or Llama. Researchers can explore knowledge graphs, simulate drug target docking, predict ADMET properties, and run experiments, all from a single dashboard. It's like having a whole wet lab, literature review assistant, and modular design in one AI native workspace. Built with all of these tools, you can get targeting faster, cheaper, and safer breakthroughs in neuropharma. Love that. All right, that was a lot of reading, a lot of words. Hopefully it was worth it to you guys. And now we're going to talk about the crazy cool new one from the new AI system from Rare Compute, where you can actually view protein structures in a VR headset. So you can view it right in front of you. I have a VR headset. Hopefully, maybe one day I will run this program and we can do a live stream from the VR headset, and we can actually play around with some of these protein structures, maybe in the future, right? I don't know what it's gonna take, and right now I don't have the time to just play around with stuff like this. I want to push Bill, get him ready, get him to the next stage, and then when I'm looking for the next part of Bill to build, I think it would be a smart idea to get him actually involved in the biotech space, right? The idea, I've revealed this to you guys last night, a little bit of my thinking around what I'm doing with Bill, but we're going to partner Bill with every DeSci project out there as a useful tool that is needed by all these projects, that is super overlooked. And by doing that, we Trojan horse Bill into every single community. Every single DeSci project out there, all of them. I want him involved in all of them. We Trojan horse him in, right? Once he's involved with all of them, we ship a new feature that is helping with drug discovery or research tools, whatever it is. We ship that new feature, and then he's already there, he's already integrated. You might as well just use it. It's a Trojan horse model. We get him involved with all the projects, and then we start shipping cool new features to help all of those projects. And Bill is the center of all of them. The way I'm picturing it, this initial phase of rollout for partnerships is something that is going to really set the floor in DeSci. It's like redefining something in decentralized science, and there's more on it shortly. But just remember, that's my idea there, that's my thesis. And if any of you guys want to read more about the other 60 projects that are in here, or 57 that got submitted, definitely check out this page, read through some of them. Maybe they'll be able to help you in something you're building, or maybe they're just interesting and you want to know what different projects are working on. Okay, just talked for 40 minutes straight. What do you guys think? You guys have been awfully quiet, just absorbing all of the information. What do you guys think about everything? I gotta check the price of Bitcoin again because we are in a free fall due to Trump's tweet, and I just wanna stay up to date on it. It looks like we might have hit a floor here at the moving average on the daily. On the hourly chart, we're still in an uptrend, right? We have not yet broken this downtrend or this uptrend, but we definitely need to bounce here if we're going to stay above and form this wedge into the circle I drew for next week. Next Monday, we'd enter into the circle, and then sometime in the middle of the circle, we can break out. Kind of crazy. I drew this circle like 2 months ago, and we're hitting it. We're about to hit it. Especially with this plummet here, there's almost no way we don't hit it. Same thing with ETH. We got a little bit of a drop down, but we're still trending higher. RSI completely reset on the hourly, so we definitely have time to make a push to the upside on the daily. We're already making a little bit of a push to the upside. RSI still trending down. Oh man. Solana looking to hold, looking to break out, trying to break out, wants to break out, is not breaking out. Now, genomes.io. Many of you guys know of them. Many of you guys have heard me talk about them. Many of you guys probably own their token. They are just boasting a little bit more about how 23andMe was fined £2.3 million for a data breach in 2023. The ICO said the company failed to put adequate measures in place to secure sensitive user data. Genomes changes it completely. Genomes changes the game completely, does everything 23andMe wanted to do, but better, and is on the blockchain. So definitely do not sleep on Genomes, especially as they're about to be on Coinbase. An indirect way to the masses. Hell yeah. Now, are they just talking about how Coinbase is integrating DEX capabilities and all base tokens will be listed on Coinbase? Or are they talking about a little secret listing that nobody knew was coming? Either way, it is very exciting that base tokens will be listed on Coinbase. Is the war concerning for you? Asks Beagle. The war is concerning for me because several different reasons. I don't like the loss of life ever, regardless of species. I don't like it. It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't feel good, right? So for that reason, it's concerning. Beyond that reason, it causes a lot of choppiness in the market. I don't enjoy the choppiness in the market, although if you go back in history and you go look at every single war that has ever happened while there was a liquid financial market, we tank into the war and then we skyrocket out of the war consistently, over time, always. If you go look, especially at US indices and Bitcoin, there have been a lot of wars that have broken out in the history and we're at all-time highs for both of them. So clearly that is the case, but regardless, the way out of a war is through debasing the currency of the countries in that war-stricken area. The Middle East is always at war with one another. There have been more conflicts in the Middle East than anyone could ever name. And life goes on for everyone not involved in the war, unfortunately. But that's why it concerns me. It does concern me a little bit when Trump's out here saying stuff like this. I will be honest, this definitely concerns me a bit. when Trump is actively getting involved, despite having said we're not getting involved, and now telling everyone in the major city, Tehran, I think it is, to get out of Iran. And I definitely butchered that pronunciation, but I butcher a lot of pronunciations. So it's just shitty. It's super shitty, and I wish the United States wouldn't get involved, but we are the world police, and so we're definitely going to get involved, especially since it's Israel, and y'all know Israel funds a lot. We fund a lot of stuff for Israel. I have to be careful with what I'm saying because I don't want to be demonetized or taken off, but you guys understand that. I'm sure we're all on the same side of X. A lot of you guys have probably seen similar things to me. Some would argue that is the very reason we get into wars to begin with, to bounce out of fiat bubbles. You could argue, you definitely could argue, if you go look at, I don't know that I'll be able to pull this chart up, but Israel M2 supply. If you go look at Israel's M2 supply, can I see the max? No. They have printed more money than the United States, actually. I wish that we could compare this to the United States. If you go back further, you'll see that Israel has been printing more money than the United States always. And so their currency has been devalued aggressively. And so Israel kind of needs to go into war to get out of stuff like that. I wish I could see more, so maybe I will. It's also funny that diamonds are the advertisement on this because that is Israel's #1 export. Despite I don't believe they have diamond mines in Israel, but it is their #1 export. Hence also why everyone views diamonds as this crazy big expense that you need. TradingView. All right, TradingView will have a lot of data. Yeah, you see that? You see that? That crazy chart? Let's get the moving averages off and let's do global liquidity on top of it. Oh, we don't have nearly as much data for this global liquidity line. Let's just go ahead and pin them both at the same starting point. They're actually pretty on par. Okay, never mind then. I might have to eat my words on it. They're actually very much on par. Global liquidity versus just Israel's total M2. Interesting. I saw a very clear graph somewhere on X about it, but it's all right. You can't believe everything you see on X, right? Make Bill Jewish so Israel funds the chart. Oh crap, on a walk and my headphones are gonna die. I'm cooked, chat. Damn it, C90. It's right. You will be missed. You will be missed. But I do want to, outside of just checking on Israel's M2 money supply, it is a very valid point that C90 had here. Like the way we're going into we are in the middle of a massive debt bubble globally, not just the United States, globally. We're in the middle of a massive debt bubble. And so one of the ways to get out of it is through war. It stimulates the economy. It allows you to pay back your debt cheaper. Sometimes you just can forgive your debt because the other country no longer exists. So it does allow for a lot of maneuvering when it comes to currencies. So I don't know. I am not an expert on the subject matter, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's just from what I've seen. But the whole world is in the middle of a debt crisis, bigger than '08, bigger than the European debt crisis of 2015, bigger than anything we've ever seen because of inflation, because of COVID and all that stuff. So this is kind of part of the cleanup of it all. It was the same type of thing when we saw inflation skyrocketing and everyone was like, why won't they do anything about inflation? Oh my God. And it's because we needed inflation to erode the value of the dollar away so that the debt would be worth less from the excess printing of the money that we had, right? The money printer went on, inflation kicked up. They were really late to the party to cut or to raise rates to cool inflation off because they needed inflation to happen to get rid of some of the debt. It's the same type of lever with war. It's just not talked about super frequently. You get wars going and you can really just stimulate an economy and reduce the burden of some of that debt. But going off on a tangent there. Again, to remind you, I'm not an expert on that field in the slightest. People are gonna have a lot better opinions than myself on that area. All I know is that it is slightly concerning, but for now, we're chilling still. We're chilling, Chad. I mean, look at Netflix. People are going to be at home now watching Netflix more. People are going to be buying. People are still going to buy more microchips. Same thing with AMD. You guys seen the run AMD has been gearing up on? AMD, a mini competitor to NVIDIA, yet you can buy it for the same price you could have back in November of 2021. And they are growing like crazy. They're not growing as quickly as NVIDIA, but they are also just a fraction of the price of it as NVIDIA. And they are expanding a lot. They just held an AI day for some of their AI chips. And Sam Altman showed up at the conference to talk about how excited he was for AMD's new chips to come out. So that should probably give you guys a sign. AMD, I think, is disgustingly undervalued at these prices. I know it's not a crypto, but it is an investment that you could potentially make. It was also very interesting to see crude oil skyrocket and then erase that skyrocket in a single day. We are still trending up a little bit more here, so maybe this breaks the downtrend oil has been in for a while because the Middle East produces a lot of oil. But yeah, this looks like it could have ended up being a fake out. I got sucked into that fake out for sure. I thought oil was going to fall here and it ended up skyrocketing. So we'll see how that happens, but the dollar still falling, putting in lows, just eked out a little tiny low and bouncing back a little bit here. But nonetheless, the dollar is falling and continues to get rejected by the moving averages. It might bounce here and come up and test the $100 area again. But I think especially with Trump out here saying that he wants the dollar to fall, I think that the dollar will fall. If the president of your country is saying, I want the dollar to fall, the dollar will probably fall. Where will it fall to? I don't know. 87, 86, or 97, 96, potentially down to the low 90s, 92 or 93. Maybe it falls all the way to 88. I doubt it falls to 88, but I think somewhere around here is probably a solid structure to bounce on. And it might take a year or two for it to play out. Let's go to the yearly chart for the dollar. Yeah, it is definitely time for it to capitulate a bit, right? Definitely time for it to capitulate, but who knows? Back to DeSci. We got Rejuve out here talking about centralized healthcare breeding monopolies. Monopolies limit choice, create perverse incentives, and ultimately they fail the people. What if they flip the script though? Rejuve, one of those DeSci projects nobody really talks about too much, but has one of the strongest teams in all of DeSci. The guy who was the CEO of SingularityNet before they merged with Fetch and everything is also one of the core builders of Rejuve. Rejuve being a disgustingly tiny market cap DeSci project. What is their token price looking like? Welcome back. Your hair's looking amazing.
Thank you.
A $3 million market cap. I have to let Sophie out. $3 million market cap. However, the chart does not look great. It continues to just fall. Let's get on a log scale, and it looks even worse somehow. One of the only charts that it can look worse on a log scale compared to a linear scale. Yeah. Mentis also posted some pretty exciting things. Noble Blocks posted some cool things. Cerebrum DAO reposted something from Andreas. Poseidon DAO, we still have several things to talk about. Oh, this was funny. The odds of Jesus returning before GTA 6 has risen to 16%. So right now, you can go bet that GTA 6 will come out before Jesus comes back by July 31st, 2026. And you can win a solid 16, 17% on your money, which is really crazy. The fact that you can earn potentially more than a 10% yield on your money just by betting that Jesus will not return in the next 12 months is pretty insane. Same with Trump out as the president or Bitcoin hitting $1 million before GTA 6. Insane. These are pretty crazy things that you can see. Polymarkets is an actual financial tool. Look at how many people, $600,000 on Jesus returning before GTA 6. So just giving you guys that alpha, that free money. Unless you do believe Jesus will return before GTA 6, but in that scenario, I don't think the money really matters anymore. So analysts expect Netflix to hit $1 trillion before 2030. That would be insane, but not really that insane. What is the market cap of Netflix? So a double up here in 5 years, in 4 years. Yeah, I would not be that surprised. These are the yearly candles for Netflix. So if it just did the same 4 years as it just had, you could have it go from, that's a 10x if it had the same 4 years. So it probably won't have the same 4 years, but even here, from 196 to 600, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it hit $1 trillion before the end of the decade. There's going to be a lot of companies that hit trillion-dollar valuations before the end of the decade. I remember when I first started investing, one of the thoughts that I had, if I go back to, it's crazy to look at a chart like this and not just invest blindly. Like why would you not just buy everything? But if we go back to the weekly chart on the Qs, when I first started investing, which was back here, I remember the market started to sell off aggressively, and it was right around the time that Apple was approaching $1 trillion market cap. And so I was like, maybe that's a psychological barrier. We just won't break $1 trillion market caps for a long time, because I was convinced we were about to go into a recession, and then the market just ripped, and it's just been going up ever since. And we've consistently for the last 7 years just been on the edge of recession the whole time, and it's insane to me. We had one little tiny recession, but we've just consistently powered on, moved higher and higher and higher. All right, I'm gonna bring up Noble, and then I think I'm going to dip for the rest of the live stream because it's almost 1 p.m. and I have to get back to Bill so that I can make the announcements today and deliver on my promises. Noble Blocks had a late night coding, working on the manuscript version control system. Scientists need to track every change, every collaboration, every revision, building something that makes complex workflows feel effortless. Hell yeah, Noble Blocks. Manuscript version comparison. So you can actually compare between two manuscripts as you edit them to see which one's better or worse. They're just launching tool after tool over at Noble Blocks to make a researcher's life easier, which is ultimately what we want them doing. We want them onboarding as many researchers as possible to the platform, and Noble Blocks, been building in stealth, really is delivering on that consistently. The token price is not delivering on it consistently, but the fundamentals behind Noble Blocks have just consistently been getting better. Better, better, and better. So that's why I feel very comfortable hanging on to my Noble, because I know one day it will pay off. when they become a powerhouse of a profile, it will have paid off holding that entire time, because the platform itself is continuing to just improve and get better. I'll put the poly markets in the chat so you guys can click on it if you want. But right here, Jesus Christ returns. Buy yes for 17, buy no for 85. So you can buy a no, you can invest $10,000 and win $1,673. That's crazy. Like, that's just an insane rate of return. You could literally win 16% yield over the span of a year. That's nuts. Betting can be a slippery slope for sure. Absolutely. I mean, if Jesus does return, you lose all 10 grand. But if he doesn't return, you just outperformed the average return on the stock market in that same time. Even like no matter what the stock market does. Not doing that anymore. I agree. I'm also not doing it. I'm just saying it looks like free money. I don't see how you couldn't take it. There's also a 3% chance that Christ will return in 2025. This is the type of thing that you would want, right? You have theoretically, all right, back in May or April, there's a 3.7% chance that he does return, a 4% chance. So you buy no, he doesn't return, and then it plummets down here, and you sell it, and you make just a little bit of money. And then you buy, yes, he does return, in case catastrophe happens. And then you double your money up a little bit, right? You just trade the Jesus return. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Maybe Jesus Navas comes back. No, that would be so shitty. I don't even know how they prove something like this, so it feels guaranteed. Like, even if Jesus does return, how is Poly Markets going to know and decisively say it? We're going to have massive, massive disagreements in that regard. All right, guys. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing into. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me. And keep your eye out for the bill news. We will be getting bill news as soon as I can possibly put it out. Yeah. Keep up the good work, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it up. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.